Well, so much has happened over the last few days in the Eurovision world, so let's talk this through. Let's talk Eurovision. What's up, you fools? Matt is United, your favorite Eurovision channel, and yes, Duncan Lawrence won the Eurovision Song Contest 2019 with his song Arcade. We all know it was a nail-biter to the very end, but in the end, he was victorious. That means the Netherlands now were given the hosting rights to host the contest in 2020. And of course, they gladly accepted. But the Dutch broadcaster, of course, had a difficult task at hand. Picking a host city with a suitable venue, not the easiest task. A bunch of cities applied, or a lot of them intended to apply and then withdrew. Only 2 cities made the cut, meaning there were 2 finalists. It was between the city Maastricht and then the ultimate eventual winner, Rotterdam. So that means we are all hailing to Rotterdam, the second largest city in the Netherlands and with the largest port in all of Europe. These are the dates of the contest. Semifinal 1 will take place on Tuesday, May 12th, then Thursday, May 14th, it's the second semifinal, and then the big grand final, Saturday, May 16th, 2020, so make sure to mark your calendars. Now, what's going to happen? This whole event is a big collaboration between the Dutch broadcasters NPO, NOS, and Avrotros. I hope I said that right. Let's see what Jan Olasand, the executive supervisor of the Eurovision Song Contest, had to say. Rotterdam has shown fantastic enthusiasm and commitment and has the right facilities to welcome delegations from over 40 countries next May. And you can see the team Rotterdam, the one that were in charge of the bidding process, were ecstatic when the news were announced.
En het telefoontje was positief.
Although about 30 minutes prior to the official announcement on the Dutch national broadcaster, the Eurovision 2020 producer Siets de Bakker called both cities, letting them know about the decision, inform them. So I guess the people higher up in charge were aware of it already, but it's still fun to look at them celebrate. They had the confetti ready. And then the official Twitter account of Ahoy Rotterdam, which is the actual venue where the contest is taking place, tweeted, "Yes, the Eurovision Song Contest is coming to Rotterdam. What an honor to host such a large event." It is a large event. Now, Ahoy Rotterdam is a pretty big arena, has about 15,000 people can fit in, and plenty of experience with hosting major events. That includes the World Artistic Gymnastics Championship, the MTV Europe Music Awards, and the Junior Eurovision Song Contest 2007. So they have a little bit of experience, although on a much smaller scale in Eurovision terms. Now, don't get me wrong, Team Maastricht fought until the very end for the hosting rights, and they did not go down without a proper fight. But it was a long shot from everything that we are hearing now. For instance, both Eurovision 2020 directors Marnix Kaart and Mark Paas, they have revealed that both of them also preferred Rotterdam over Maastricht for artistic reasons. They said just the experience alone of hosting major events was a huge factor in selecting the venue. Knowledge is golden. Maastricht was, in the end, the underdog in this whole thing, but they made up that disadvantage with high level of determination, no doubt about it, during the bidding process until the very, very end. One of the major disqualifying factors was the roof of the venue in Maastricht that was lower than the EBU requires, and the missing tribunes holding up the heavy and elaborate lighting rigs. While the directors ultimately had no say in the decision-making process, they basically served as advisors, and they know what they're talking about, right? So it makes perfect sense. Mark Paas is going to be responsible for design and sets, and also the structure of the show. He said that the venue in Rotterdam will be perfect to create a legendary opening ceremony. Give me a really good opening ceremony and I am happy. So this is already very promising. I try not to get too excited. too late. No, nothing comes for free, maybe except death and taxes. Certainly not the Eurovision Song Contest. So the head of the Dutch broadcaster, NPO, said that they will ask the Dutch government for some money. And by some, I mean a lot. Apparently they're going to approach the government asking for financial assistance. The amount that they're asking for is 15 to 20 million euros. Well, hot damn. Now, the Prime Minister, his name is Mark Rutte, previously said that he is very hesitant to provide any funds towards the contest. Maybe the fact that he's just hesitant is a good sign. Maybe he didn't say completely no yet. But he claimed that using taxpayer money is not a popular idea. We have to wait and see. As pointed out, various MPs are happy to talk about the actual funding issue because they see this as a kind of a great economic and cultural importance for the Netherlands. Don't get me wrong, I'll be there and I plan on spending a lot of money on croquettes, sugar bread, and stroopwafels. So I'll do my part. So apparently some MPs have already started preliminary talks about the funding, which is maybe a good sign, but others have already voiced their opposition to any kind of funding. So more to come on that. The Dutch Eurovision commentator, Eurovision in concert host, and big ESC fan Cornel Maas announced on Twitter that he is going to be an official creative advisor as well to the contest, amongst other things, that is. The other part, whatever that means, will be announced at a later point. But it's wonderful to have a true fan with that great depth of Eurovision knowledge be part of the whole process. Although I was actually almost hoping he would host the contest, I think this is still a great thing. I'm thrilled that he gets to be involved heavily from what I'm hearing here right now. So let's see how that all is going to pan out. Now, during the press conference, and it was also mentioned in the bid book, Rotterdam stressed above everything that it's all about inclusiveness. It's going to be a very inclusive Eurovision. This means the focus will be on the long history that Rotterdam has with migrants, and they mentioned, the Suriname, the Caribbean immigrants, Chinese stock workers, you name it, as well as the LGBT community, lower income individuals, as well as just your everyday Rotterdamer at large. Now, the council, Mr. Kazmi, reiterated that during the press conference, so I think that's wonderful, right? The more the merrier. He also confirmed during that press conference that there are 2 locations currently in the running to host the Eurovision Village. He couldn't share with us what or who they were, but we'll find out sooner or later. In case you don't know what it is, the Eurovision Village is the official fan zone of the Eurovision Song Contest. The access is free of charge and offers fans the opportunity to see their favorite acts perform live ahead of the Eurovision Song Contest. And it is often used to introduce the local culture or food to the tourists traveling to Eurovision. It's a wonderful experience. So if you're in Rotterdam during Eurovision, you have to go. You just have to go. Now, let's talk about a few other things that the Dutch team has in store for us. According to the bid book, which now was previously hush-hush but has now been revealed, let's take a look. So every year we have the red carpet event at Eurovision, although in recent years they changed the names. For instance, last year it was the orange carpet, and then this year it's the golden carpet. So we're going with the golden carpet here in Rotterdam, and we do have a few updates on that. Apparently, the plan is to have it either on the Erasmus Bridge, which is a famous bridge in Rotterdam. Google it, you know what I'm talking about. And the goal is to lay out a recycled gold carpet, which now thinking about it's kind of silly that they didn't call it the green carpet because, it's very green of them. Anyway, I digress. And then another option would be for the event to take place at the iconic Koolsingel Street. That's what it's called. So more to come on that as well. Now, the semi-final allocation draw usually takes place early in the year, so early 2020, and that also includes the insignia handover. Now, that's when last year's host hands over the duties over to the new host, which was Israel, now to the Netherlands. The intended venue for that is Rotterdam's Stadhuis, City Hall. That's basically what it means. And let's not forget about the volunteers, which are a huge part of Eurovision. And I've been doing this for quite a few years now, and I'm telling you, they feel like they're the heart and soul of the event. They do all different jobs, and If you live in Rotterdam in the Netherlands or just want to do it, I strongly encourage for you to do it. It's also just a once-in-a-lifetime cool experience. And according to the Bitbook, a focus is on giving the residents of Rotterdam the chance to take part in this once-in-a-lifetime event. And I quote, "The municipality of Rotterdam will work in association with the organization to recruit motivated volunteers. From people who are disadvantaged on the labor market to people who have been fans of the contest from the outset, students or proud Rotterdammers, there are a lot of people who will not want to miss out on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, whether as a city guide, ushers, bar staff, or in any other role." The organizers also would use this opportunity to celebrate how far the continent has come over the last 80 years, because 80 years ago was when Germany actually, the German Air Force, I should say, basically destroyed almost all of Rotterdam, and they had to build the city from scratch during World War II. Hundreds of people, civilians, died, and then tens of thousands of people were left homeless. It's clearly a terrible thing. So what they're saying is it offers a great opportunity to link the commemoration to the Eurovision Song Contest, especially as it involved reflecting on the fact that we are now together in the city and can enjoy the song contest in freedom. A celebration that stands for connectedness, diversity, inclusiveness, and solidarity. There are also core values in Rotterdam shaped by this important piece of our city's history. And keep in mind, hosting the contest is not just a great thing for the host city, but basically most cities near Rotterdam will benefit from this event as well. Whether it's Breda, The Hague, Utrecht, or even Amsterdam. I mean, they all will benefit from the tourism and exposure that the contest will bring to the area. So, yay, everyone should be happy. The Bitbook defines Hall 2, next to the arena, as an area typically used as the press room, and it accommodates 750 journalists, though they're able to expand the number if needed. And I'm telling you one thing right now, they need to expand it because they need at least twice as many. 1,500 seems to be about the number of journalists usually going to Eurovision. So hopefully they'll make that happen because it's going to be tight. The Eurovision organizers are aiming for the ticket sales to kick off before Christmas. And Bakker reiterated that during a talk show that they want the 2020 contest to be accessible to people with lower income. And the mayor Abu Talib also said in response that like 180 euros for a ticket is just way too much. Now, after Tel Aviv being so expensive, more expensive than any other contest in the history, ticket-wise, it is refreshing to hear that it won't be like we don't have to declare bankruptcy just to buy a ticket. So yay, Rotterdam. Thank you for that. No news on the hosts yet. Who is going to host the contest? They said it'll be another few months before we decide on that. So we'll keep you updated. As always, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you know when a new video goes up, and we'll let you know. So this is where we're at. We're going to Rotterdam, and I cannot wait. I was Team Rotterdam from very early on, and I got it my way. Who doesn't love to be right? I cannot wait to see you peeps in Rotterdam in the Netherlands next May. Hope you're going. You gotta go. You gotta go. I will be there with belts on. It's a stupid saying because I don't own any belts, but you get my point. Thanks for watching. I'll keep you up to date. Have a good day, everyone. Have a good night. Have a good whatever.